Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, spreading fast. More cases of COVID-19 reported across the U.S. and California. We'll speak with a local doctor about what that means for us here in Kern, as health officials warn we're days away from seeing a huge spike.
Homeschooling for the foreseeable future. Parents across Kern County abruptly find themselves as the teacher, principal, and librarian. We check in with one local family who is trying to make the best of these tough times.
And the search continues this morning for a man accused of killing an 8-year-old little girl. We'll hear from her family, and a local expert will join us to talk about getting help in dangerous situations. This is Thursday, March 19th, 2020. Good morning, 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen, and we're trying something new here on Sunrise, so I am a little further away from Alex Fisher this morning.
Yeah, we're trying to practice our social distancing, and we've been doing that over the last couple of days, but this may become the new normal as we continue to move forward with the spread of the coronavirus. Maddie, we've seen a lot of cases across the nation. We've seen it start to spike, and of course, health officials say the worst is yet to come.
We're watching this curve and trying to see where we are on the curve, and we've been talking with local doctors about that, and we're going to continue to talk about that this morning when Dr. Hamel Cothry will join us again at 6:30. We're going to talk about what we could see in the next few days here in Kern County. But first, we want to talk about your forecast. So cold yesterday.
Pretty chilly.
For the last day of winter, heading into spring. Kind of strange, but Kevin's got to look at your forecast. He is again live from his home.
Yeah, and he's got to look at your forecast for this first day of spring.
Good morning, Alex. Yeah, it's all about keeping to yourself, and that's why I'm at my house. I didn't leave my house yesterday at all, and I just kind of doing our part to not spread this virus anymore. I've been totally healthy. That's not the point of me being at my house. The point is just isolation for as long as possible. So I don't plan on leaving my house. I can do everything from the comfort of my home. I know not everybody can do that, but if you can, that is the message that we're trying to get out to everybody. Let's talk about the weather forecast for you on this Thursday. Yes, it is spring, and we might even get a few little showers for the first day of spring. As you take a look at the satellite and radar right now, you can see we've got some clouds out there. We did see a little clearing overnight, and there's a few little showers out there trying to develop as well, and that's what we'll be watching for as we go throughout the day. 47 degrees on the temperature right now. We have a southeast wind at 5 miles per hour, so a cool start for everybody. And as we take a look at the day here on the first day of spring, we expect temperatures to be in the upper 50s, maybe some lower 60s out there for the valley. And then for the mountains, we'll be starting out. Right now, we're having an issue with the observation site out of Tehachapi. It looks like it went down, but we will be starting out in the 30s and then warming you up this afternoon into the 40s. So not a big warm up for the mountain communities. I'll have much more on your forecast coming up in just a little bit, but we'll send it back to you guys. I miss you.
Yeah, we miss you too, Kev. And but this is good. This is what I think a lot of people are going to be doing, kind of this virtual interaction. Again, we're trying to practice what we preach. Social distancing is so important. Yep. We'll check back in with you in just a few moments. Let's take a look at your morning commute and take you outside for the first time this morning. Here's a look at the 99 at Airport Drive. And as you can see, it's looking pretty good for the most part. One thing that I have noticed over the last several days is even the afternoon commute has been just a little bit less over the last couple of days because a lot of people, I think, are staying home and trying to practice that social distancing. We will keep you updated throughout the morning, though, if you're going to be headed out the door to work, and have another look at your commute coming up in about 15 minutes.
And an update this morning on the coronavirus worldwide. Chinese health officials reported 0 new cases in the country for the first time since the outbreak began. Around the world, millions are under lockdown. The global number of cases this morning sits at more than 200,000. This morning, Fiji reported its first case. That's bad news for the remote Pacific Island region that's fairly dependent on aid. Meanwhile, in Europe, Italy remains at the center of the largest outbreak. The death toll in the country is rapidly approaching that of China. Here in the United States, officials are preparing for an 18-month-long pandemic. Most of the people who have died from coronavirus in the United States are over the age of 65. This morning, there are close to 9,000 cases in the U.S. and 149 people have died. In California, there are 870 cases and 16 deaths. Around 7 million people in the Bay Area are under mandatory shelter in place. To our south, yesterday, officials in Orange County decided to implement a lockdown as well.
Still, only one case of coronavirus has been reported here in Kern County. Testing for COVID-19 continues at hospitals and urgent care centers here in Bakersfield today. Public Health says they've done 200 tests so far. Besides the first case, 76 tests have come back negative for COVID-19. That means we're waiting on results for 123 cases. Public Health says there's no shortage in testing or the availability of tests.
Well, with this outbreak, Congress is urging you to stay in your home. But what if you don't have a home? Self-quarantine and social distancing are nearly impossible for the homeless. One California congressman says a major outbreak in the state's homeless populations would likely spread into surrounding cities and suburbs. State representatives have been pushing the Trump administration to build temporary hospitals and shelters to address the needs of homeless people.
In the House bill that we passed, we increased Medicaid dollars, which is essential for California because of the homeless and the uninsured.
Well, curious where you can get tested for COVID-19? Well, there are a few places here in Kern County. One spot is Accelerated Urgent Care in Southwest Bakersfield. The whole process is supposed to be done from your car. Priority Urgent Care and Omni Healthcare both test for COVID-19. Public Health says that all local hospitals are also equipped to test for the virus. Hospitals are warning only people showing serious symptoms can get tested. You also have to call ahead to make an appointment. And if you can, call your doctor first and check with your healthcare provider to know where your coverage is accepted. And a reminder, here are the symptoms of coronavirus. They include a fever, a dry cough, meaning there won't be mucus, fatigue and shortness of breath. Less common symptoms include aches and pains, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, and diarrhea. Meantime, remember, the flu is also going around in our community, and those symptoms are similar, but muscle and joint pain and a runny nose and headache will be more common for the flu. A lot of people are experiencing allergies right now as well, especially here in Kern County, and those symptoms include sneezing, coughing, itchy eyes, and a runny or stuffy nose. If you think you're experiencing symptoms of the coronavirus, call your doctor before going into their office. And coming up at 6:30, we'll speak with Dr. Cothery once again. He's a local doctor giving us the latest on the coronavirus here in Kern County. Well, yesterday, school districts around Kern County closed their doors to slow down the spread of the coronavirus. These schools made the indefinite transition to online education, leaving thousands of local families with little time to adjust to this massive change in their children's lives. 17's Taylor Schaub has more.
2 days ago, 15-year-old Isabel Valenzuela was taking class at Golden Valley High School. Now she's home, where she'll stay doing her schoolwork online for the foreseeable future.
I actually started last night, and I'm just trying to get ahead.
Valenzuela is one of 190,000 children in Kern County facing this new reality. Online classes with little to no social interaction in an effort to curb the spread of the coronavirus.
I wasn't excited just because I like to have the social interaction along with learning.
Her mom, Carrie, who also cares for 2 young daughters, believes the best way to handle this homeschooling is keeping Isabel on a set schedule.
One of her teachers actually made a schedule for them, so he plotted out how much to do one day. Her teachers gave her some packets to bring home.
A practice that one day in, Isabel says she's already focused on maintaining.
My goal is to just wake up at my regular time, do school just like my regular time.
Even planning time to connect with people outside the house.
So making sure to text or FaceTime my friends.
Are you at your mom's all week?
Because as Isabel points out, well, you can learn online.
Yeah. My only concern would be the social interaction thing. I think school-wise we'll do fine homeschooling, but a lot of kids tend to feed off of the social interaction.
That was Taylor Schaub reporting. Well, even if you're practicing isolation or self-distancing, the experts say you should. It's best for your own health to try to live life as normal as possible. We spoke with Jessica Avancina, a local therapist who said isolation can take its toll on people after a long time. especially for people who have disorders like depression and anxiety. Her advice, keep structure in your life.
Once we start losing a whole lot of structure from a lot of structure to no structure, it's not helpful, because then we feel lost. Then we start to feel like, what's the point of this, or what's the point of that? Why do I even need to do XYZ things?
The goal is to not lose yourself in loneliness. If you're working from home, try to maintain your normal everyday routine and keep up your relationships. You can use phones, other mobile devices, and social media to keep in touch with friends and family. And just a reminder, you can find all of our coronavirus coverage in one spot on our website, kget.com. We have everything from school closures, store hours, to meal sites for kids during this time. Well, new overnight, an officer-involved shooting in northwest Bakersfield, why the suspect decided to barricade himself inside the house. Welcome back. An update to breaking news from overnight. A Swat standoff has ended in northwest Bakersfield after an officer-involved shooting. This all happened last night on Veneto Street. Around 8 p.m., officers were called to the home for reports of a domestic violence situation. When police arrived, they met the suspect, 39-year-old Ryan Lake, near the front of the home. Police say Lake was armed with what appeared to be a gun, and a BPD officer fired at least one shot. No one was hurt in the shooting, but Lake ran inside the home and barricaded himself, according to police. After several hours of negotiations, Lake surrendered. The investigation is still ongoing, and the officer involved will be put on routine administrative leave pending the review of the shooting. If you have any information on this case, you're asked to call police at 327-7111. The search continues this morning for the man accused of killing an 8-year-old Bakersfield girl. Police say the little girl had obvious signs of trauma when she was found inside an apartment yesterday. That apartment is on Dimas Street, just south of Highway 178. First responders attempted to revive the little girl, but they were unsuccessful. Officers are looking for Clint Mason on suspicion of murder. Mason is the victim's mother's boyfriend who shares one child together. Family describes him as a violent man.
Very negative person, very violent person. We've had altercations with him before and had to call the police because he's a very violent individual.
Mason was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, and he walks with a limp. He was last seen on foot in the area of the homicide and does not have a car. Mason has family in the Los Angeles area and may be attempting to return there, according to police. If you have any information on this case or the whereabouts of Clint Mason, you're asked to call police at 327-7111. And here's a list of ways you or someone you know can get help from domestic abuse. Always call 911 if it's an emergency. If you're trapped in an abusive relationship, you can also call the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault. They have a 24-hour crisis line. That number is 327-1091. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE. There's also the Family Justice Center on Oak Street. That is a one-stop shop dedicated to victims of abuse. And coming up in about 40 minutes, Lewis Gill with the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault will join us to talk about how to get help if you're in a dangerous situation and how times of crisis, like the coronavirus pandemic, can fuel more domestic violence situations. Well, still to come, how is the coronavirus impacting the economy and small businesses? Maddie has this coming up after this.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back here at 525. Another day, another list of places across Kern County closing over coronavirus concerns. Buck Owens Crystal Palace has been shut down indefinitely. John's Incredible Pizza also closed until late March. Guthrie's Alley Cat closed for the next 2 weeks. La Costa Moriscos is temporarily closing its Ice House location. Both Golden West Casino and Eagle Mountain Casino are also closed. Bakersfield College will not be holding its May commencement ceremonies at Memorial Stadium this spring due to the coronavirus outbreak. Instead, the college is looking into doing a virtual commencement that people can participate in online. A spokesperson for BC says the college is still looking into whether or not it's even feasible. Cal State Bakersfield announced earlier this week that it was postponing its graduation events. A makeup date has not yet been set. Taft College is working to move its classes online. It's one of the last schools in the area to limit campus activity because of the coronavirus. College officials say student services will also be available online. They say students should stay in close communication with faculty as the situation unfolds. The college has also canceled all public events and community meetings on campus through April 17th. Coronavirus has forced restaurants to change the way they do business. 17's Karen Waugh spoke to the owners of a few popular spots in town to see how they're adapting.
In this time of self-isolation, some people might worry about food shortage. Local restaurants might worry about how to keep their doors open. So for now, this could be the new normal for some time.
This is business as normal at the Broken Yoke. Booths packed, often a line out the door. Now,
probably 2/3 of what we normally do in business.
So they're doing what they can to keep the doors open.
This restaurant has staff that really depends on their job, so we're doing our best to stay open and keep as many hours as possible, but we, just like everyone else, we have had to cut back.
Offering curbside pickup, or if you prefer no contact,
here, have a wonderful day.
They'll put your order in your back seat and charge your card over the phone.
It doesn't only affect us and our employees, it affects the whole supply chain.
At Smitten, the sit-down spot they opened just months ago is now mostly empty. Their loyal customers are trying to help the best they can.
Already mailed out a few gift cards to customers, so that's another way to support us.
But for both spots, gift cards and curbside pickup are just short-term fixes.
We're a sit-down restaurant. Our primary business model is to have people come in and enjoy the atmosphere and enjoy the company of the servers.
No one knows how long this pandemic will last.
It's just a little scary because we don't know exactly in which direction it's going, but we'll be here as long as we can.
So for now, hope is not broken.
There's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. We have to. It's another obstacle. We just have to get through it.
In Bakersfield, Karen Waugh.
Hi.
17 News.
Still ahead in our next half hour on Sunrise, the U.S. taking steps to combat the coronavirus pandemic. Plus, what's being done for 2 members of Congress who just tested positive.